President Trump's 2027 budget proposal requests a $1.5 trillion funding increase for defense. Philly International Airport reopens all terminals after President Trump signs an order to pay TSA agents during the ongoing partial government shutdown.
President Trump fires Pam Bondi as Attorney General. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, has asked Army Chief of Staff General Randy George to step down and take immediate retirement. Welcome to Woo TV. I'm Allison Padula, and this is Alexis Hilton.
As of Thursday, April 2nd, President Donald Trump has fired Pam Bondi after her 14 months as U.S. Attorney General. Trump has placed Todd Blanche as the acting Attorney General in Bondi's absence. During a press conference on Tuesday, Blanche expressed his gratitude to President Trump for this role as the greatest honor of a lifetime. President Trump stated that he believed Pam Bondi had not done her job properly, citing her department's mishandling of redacting victims' names inside the Epstein files. Pam Bondi responded positively, thanking President Trump and expressing excitement for her new role in the private sector. Tensions are rising in the United States Department of War. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has asked Army Chief of Staff General Randy George to step down and take immediate retirement. One source states that Hegseth wants someone in the role who will implement President Trump and Hegseth's vision for the Army. Hegseth has currently fired more than a dozen senior military officers. President Donald Trump's 2027 budget proposal was released Friday, proposing to boost defense spending to $1.5 trillion. This is the largest request in decades, reflecting Trump's emphasis on U.S. military investments over domestic programs. This increase of about 44% for defense was a goal before the U.S.-led war against Iran and would also reduce spending on non-defense programs by 10%. Among defense, President Trump's priorities include supporting ICE operations, 13% budget increase for the Department of Justice to focus on what the White House calls migrant crime, a $10 billion fund for national parks in D.C., and a near $500 million fund increase to enhance aviation safety.
The ongoing partial government shutdown has reached the longest in history. This shutdown has prompted President Donald Trump to issue a memo directing the Department of Homeland Security to ensure that all employees are being paid during this period. The government shutdown affects more than 35,000 government personnel, such as the security agency, cybersecurity professionals, and TSA workers. In the memo, President Trump has emphasized the importance of taking decisive action regarding this pressing issue. America sends people to the moon for the first time in 50 years, sending mankind the furthest they've ever been. Gage Grace has an exclusive interview to share with us.
Thank you so much, Allison. My name is Gage Grace, and I'm standing here looking up thinking about the Artemis mission. The 10-day mission is currently in day 9, and the astronauts on board are preparing to land back on Earth. They should be touching down in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of San Diego. I recently had the privilege of interviewing Professor Oggenson, the director of Widener's observatory, about the importance of this mission.
What is the ultimate goal of the Artemis mission?
The ultimate goal is to establish a base on Mars. So the intermediate step is to establish a permanent base on the moon and possibly also an orbiting station around the moon.
What do you think this means for space travel in the future? Do you believe commercialized space travel will be a thing of the future?
I'm pretty sure it will be, although I will say that when I was in 7th grade, I remember seeing movies about how space travel would be routine to the planets in the late 1990s. And of course, that didn't happen.
Are you aware of any other nations attempting to land on the moon currently?
Science knows no boundaries, so we should include representative scientists from other nations in this endeavor, because it's too big and too important not to.
If you'd like to track the Artemis mission, you can at NASA's official website. I'll be back later at the Weather Center to tell you about the weather, but right now, let's head back to the desk with Alexis.
Thank you for that report, Gage. All 3 security checkpoints at Philadelphia International Airport that closed last month amid the Department of Homeland Security shutdown have now reopened. Terminal F, Terminal A West and Terminal C have all reopened, having been closed to consolidate operations due to TSA staffing shortages. President Trump has signed an order directing DHS to begin paying TSA officers, effective last week.
The Supreme Court has cleared a path for dismissal of Steve Bannon's contempt of Congress. On Monday, the Supreme Court set aside a lower court's decision that upheld the conviction of Steve Bannon, a former White House advisor under President Trump, on 2 accounts of contempt of Congress. The Supreme Court has sent his case back to the Federal Appeals Court in Washington, D.C. for further proceedings. Bannon served a 4-month prison sentence in 2024 after the Supreme Court denied his bid to remain out of prison while he pursued his conviction appeal. Secretary of Health Robert F. Kennedy has rewritten the rules for a key CDC vaccine advisory panel after a federal judge blocked his earlier overhaul. According to a document released Monday by the Department of Health and Human Services, the new policy expands the qualification for panel members. The move follows a March 16th ruling by District Judge Brian Murphy, who found that the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices had been unlawfully reconstituted after Kennedy replaced all 17 independent experts with members who shared his controversial vaccine views. Murphy said the panel violated federal law, noting that only 6 of the 15 members had meaningful vaccine experience. The ruling put the panel's decision on hold. The Trump administration has not yet appealed the decision, but still has time to do so within a 60-day window. New updates to the Epstein files involving Bill Gates have been announced. Bill Gates will appear before the House Oversight Committee for a transcribed interview as part of the panel's investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. A spokesperson for Gates has stated that he welcomes the opportunity to appear before the committee, and while he never witnessed or participated in any of Epstein's illegal conduct, he is looking forward to answering all the committee's questions to support their important work. Along with this, Gates apologized in February to his staff of the philanthropic Gates Foundation for his ties to Epstein. Widener students are enjoying the sun here in Chester. Let's hope this week brings us more sunshine. Jaden Crutchfield is live on Memorial Field and has more information for us.
Thank you, Allison. My name is Jaden Crutchfield, and this is your live weather hit. I'm currently standing on Memorial Field, where it is 58 degrees and sunny. Once again, multiple students are outside enjoying the weather. Widener Brain is celebrating the sunshine with a nice ice cream cone hat and a cool button-up shirt. We'll learn more about this in the Weather Center with Gage, Grace. But first, let's go to sports with Nick.
Coming up next at the Sports Desk, Flyers and Sixers make a push for the playoffs. Multiple Widener athletes receive conference accolades. All that and more after this quick commercial break. Stay tuned.
Wherever you go at Widener, you've always got your pride. Everywhere you go, and behind everything you do. And before you know it, you are working in your field, realizing your life's ambitions before you even leave Widener.
If you have a dream, come join us.
Widener University. Many roars, one pride.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk. I'm Nicholas Roque. The Eagles head into the 2026 NFL Draft with flexibility and a full slate of picks, sitting at number 23 in the first round and positioned to take the best player available after a quiet but strategic offseason. With veterans like Lane Johnson and Landon Dickerson returning, Philadelphia still has eyes on the future of its offensive line, making a prospect like Caden Proctor an intriguing option if he falls to them. The team also holds multiple mid-round selections, giving them ammunition to address depth at receiver, the secondary, and linebacker, With the possibility of an A.J. Brown trade still lingering and several one-year free agent additions on defense, the Eagles enter draft week balancing long-term roster building with immediate needs. Their board is wide open, and how they use their capital should shape the next era of Eagles football. The Sixers enter the final week of the regular season sitting 7th in the East after a costly loss to the Spurs, putting them in play-in position with a 43-36 record. They'll finish the year against Houston, Indiana, and Milwaukee, 2 of which are already eliminated, giving Philly a real chance to climb, especially with tiebreakers over Orlando and Charlotte and a division record edge over Toronto. Basketball References gives them about a 35% shot at reaching the top 6, but they no longer control their own destiny. With Joel Embiid's health uncertainty and the standings packed tight, the mission is simple: win out, hope the Raptors stumble, and avoid a dangerous play-in path. The energy around the Philadelphia Flyers is shifting and is coming from an unexpected place. At just 19 years old, rookie forward Porter Martone is already making a serious impact, helping push the Flyers into playoff contention. With a mix of confidence, speed, and maturity beyond his years, Martone has quickly become a player opponents can't ignore. In recent games, his presence on the ice has sparked the offense and energized both teammates and fans. Whether it's creating scoring chances or stepping up in key moments, like scoring our game-winning goal on Sunday versus the Bruins, the young rookie is proving he belongs. As the season heats up, one thing is clear: if the Flyers make a playoff run, Porter Martone might be one of the biggest reasons why. March Madness has once again delivered with unforgettable moments and thrilling finishes. March remains one of the best months of college sports. On the women's side, South Carolina and UCLA battled for the national championship, where the Bruins came out victorious with a dominant win, beating South Carolina 79-51, winning their first NCAA championship in program history. On the men's side, UConn and Michigan battled for the crown, where the Wolverines came out on top with a score of 69-63. Michigan claims their first title since 1989. Widener's Gabby Nye is making history on the track. She's not done yet. Last weekend, the senior distance runner won the 3,000-meter steeplechase at the Danny Curran Invitational with a time of 10 minutes and 44 seconds, breaking the Widener program record and posting a top time in all of the NCAA Division III. That performance earned her the Middle Atlantic Conference Track Athlete of the Week honor, adding yet another accolade to an already legendary Widener career. That includes All-American recognition and multiple MAC titles. Widener women's lacrosse has a star on the rise, and the conference is taking notice. Sophomore Claire Lynch has been named the MAC Offensive Player of the Week, and it's easy to see why. This award comes after Lynch posted a career-high game, recording 6 goals and an assist against Eastern University last week. Lynch has been a consistent offensive force for the Pride all season, and last month she delivered the game winner in overtime against St. Mary's, scoring the golden goal just 79 seconds into the extra frame to seal the win. This latest honor builds on a standout freshman campaign that earned her the MAC Commonwealth Rookie of the Year award just last spring. Widener baseball is heating up just in time for the stretch run. The Pride swept a conference doubleheader against Albright this past Saturday, and it was a complete team effort. In Game 1, Sean Burke came up clutch, going 2 for 5 with a walk-off double in the 9th to seal the win. In Game 2, John Najek threw an absolute gem for a complete 7-inning outing, surrendering just 1 run on 3 hits while striking out 9 without issuing a single walk. The sweep moves Widener to 13-12 overall and 8-4 in conference play, a team that looks like it's found its footing at exactly the right time. That's all for the Sports Desk. Now let's send it over to Lola Geyer with World News.
This week on World News, an emotional love story makes it to the moon, and the Trump administration threatens Iran. Welcome to World News, where we cover the biggest stories from around the world and the moon. I'm Lola Geyer. On Tuesday morning, President Trump stated in a Truth social media post that a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again, if Iran does not reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The president has given Iran until 8 p.m. on Tuesday to reopen the strait after it's been heavily monitored by drones to strike at any oil tankers that may pass without permission. Later that night, the administration agreed to a 2-week ceasefire with Iran. Iran supposedly proposed a deal, to which Trump responded by saying that the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz is a key part in accepting this ceasefire. Many countries in Asia have felt the impact of its closure, as over 80% of Asia's oil supply crosses through the strait. This has caused many countries to ask citizens to ration fuel usage. Several human rights groups have expressed concerns for the president's threats, as the citizens in Iran are already suffering from outages and casualties. A 12-year-old blind dog named Honey fended off an ursine bear protecting her family's home in Mexico. The bear entered the home's property fresh out of hibernation and ready to eat. The property held around 60 chickens, 2 horses, and dogs, and not a single animal except Honey was harmed. Unfortunately, this brave dog fell into the bear's claws and faced nearly fatal injuries. Her family brought her to urgent care, where she underwent surgery for her wounds. Now, Honey is back at home, resting with the horses and chickens she saved. I Love You to the Moon and Back has just taken on a whole new meaning. Reed Wiseman, an astronaut currently on the Artemis II exhibition around the moon, received a special surprise as a NASA crew proposed naming a crater on the moon after his late wife, Carol Wiseman. Carol passed away from cancer in 2020 at just 46 years old, leaving behind her 2 daughters and husband. Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen radioed to Mission Control and told Reed that the crater was a bright spot on the moon and that the team would like to call it Carol. Carol dedicated her life to helping others as a newborn intensive care unit registered nurse. A second crater was also named Integrity, honoring the extraordinary efforts and feats of their predecessors in human space exploration. The group is set to return to Earth on Friday. That's all for now. Let's head back to the desk with Alexis Hilton.
Thank you for that report, Lola. Have you had Wawa drinks recently? Wawa has sent out recalls for some of their 16-ounce drinks, including their iced tea lemon, iced tea diet lemon, their diet lemonade, and their fruit punch, following a temporary equipment issue that may have introduced milk into these beverages. Wawa has stated that at least 11 stores in the Philadelphia region have received the recall, among dozens of others across the region. Jefferson Health sued Aetna on Monday over a policy that cuts payment for certain Medicare Advantage hospital stays. The lawsuit says that Aetna's new policy violates federal law and breaches Aetna's contract with Jefferson. In a statement, Aetna rejected these claims, saying its policies comply with all applicable federal laws, regulations, and Jefferson's terms.
Pennsylvania residents, get ready for a summer filled with fun events. Pennsylvania is preparing for a record number of major events in 2026, backed by nearly $40 million in new state funding. Events including the NFL Draft in Pittsburgh, the FIFA World Cup, the MLB All-Star Game in Philadelphia, and the PGA Championship in Bucks County are expected to draw visitors from around the world, putting the state in the national spotlight. Governor Josh Shapiro announced the funding will support marketing, safety, and infrastructure ahead of America's 250th anniversary celebrations. Shapiro says the goal is to ensure the events are accessible to the public while creating more opportunities for families to participate. Tourism officials estimate the events could generate tens of billions of dollars in economic impact across Pennsylvania. Officials also introduced the Visit PA Playmakers, a group of influencers tasked with promoting the events statewide.
As summer approaches, we are experiencing higher temperatures in the Chester area. Let's check in with our weather anchor, Gage Grace, to see if this week's forecast is keeping up with the trend.
Thank you so much, Alexis. My name is Gage Grace, and this is your weekly weather forecast with the Weather Center. Tomorrow, it's going to start off with a cloudy, sunny mix and a nice 40 degrees in the morning. Towards the afternoon, it's going to become sunny with a nice 60 degrees. And towards the evening, it's going to be that cloudy, sunny mix again with a high 62 degrees. Next week, Saturday, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous, sunny with a high of 64 and a low of 45. Sunday, we're getting that cloudy, sunny mix back with a high of 65 and a low of 42. Monday, it's just going to be cloudy with a high of 77 and a low of 56. Tuesday, the cloudy sunny mix returns with a high of 80 and a low of 60. Wednesday, finally running out the week, we got that sunny cloudy mix that we all know and love, and a high of 85 and a low of 63. Thank you so much for listening to your weekly weather forecast, but stay tuned because we'll be right back after these break.
Here's a look at some of the exciting Widener events happening around campus this upcoming week. On Friday, April 10th at 5:30 p.m. in the Pride Den, the International Student Club is hosting a movie night for all Widener students. This is your chance to unwind, grab free pizza, and experience an international film. Whether you love movies or just want to hang out, everyone is welcome. On Friday, April 10th at 7:30 p.m., the Brothers of Kappa Kappa Psi will host a s'mores event making night at the University Fire Pit for anyone who would like to join. The Fireside S'mores event is meant to establish a sense of brotherhood while also introducing the fraternity to the Widener community. Come out for some bonding and sweet treats.
Admitted Students Day is this Saturday, April 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Admitted students will have the opportunity to walk the red carpet, connect with their future faculty, staff, and current Widener students. Tours and information sessions will be held throughout the day to address any questions future students may have. To attend, you must register on the Widener website. On April 14th, between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., join the Office of Student Inclusion and Belonging in the University Center web room for Pre-Pride. Pre-Pride is an event for faculty, staff, and students who identify as LGBTQ+ to celebrate Pride with other queer individuals. There will be themed activities and giveaways.
Swan, the K-pop club on campus, will be hosting a self-care basket-making event in honor of the South Korean holiday Black Day, also known as Singles Day, on April 14th from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. in the University Center atrium. Come and treat yourself to some free goodies and fun activities. Archivist Jill Boren and Molly Wolf will be guiding students through the world of digital archives on April 20th from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Attendees will be introduced to some notable digital archival collections, including Widener's own university archives and sexuality archives. This event will be held virtually and requires registration, which can be found in your Widener email inbox.
On Wednesday, April 15th, the annual TKE Flea Market will be held on the Academic Quad. All Greek Life chapters will be in attendance to raise funds for their philanthropy. Be sure to attend for fun and engaging activities. The National Pan-Hellenic Council Fest will be hosted on April 15th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Memorial Field. The festival brings together members of historically Black fraternities and sororities to showcase their legacy through step performances, strolls, music, and community engagement. Thank you for watching this episode of Woo TV. For Gage Grace, Jaden Crutchfield, Nicholas Roque, Lola Geyer, Allison Padula, and all the behind-the-scenes crew, I'm Alexis Hilton. Good night.